Many years of my commuting life in London was on this line here in the southwest, going past Wimbledon up into Waterloo, and every day I would come past the depot here at Wimbledon, actually nowadays called Wimbledon Traincare Centre. Well, chatting to South Western Railway recently, what with the fact that the 455s, the old trains which I grew up with, are being withdrawn, we had a conversation and I said, could I come down, have a look round inside the depot, talk about the demise of the 455s, look forward to the new 701s which replace them, and have a look and see what goes on inside your depot. And that's exactly what we're doing today.
So we're going to take a tour around the depot here at Wimbledon to see where the heavy maintenance takes place on South Western Railway's fleet, including the wheel lathe and bogey drop. There's also the train presentation shed, and also I've got a little bit of love for the old Class 455 trains as they finally depart to make way for the brand new fleet of Aterio trains.
This is the last. This won't be a sight that happens anymore.
South Western Railway has a large fleet of trains, including the Class 444, 450, 455s and 458s. Then there's the new Aterios, alongside the Class 158 and 159 diesel units. Oh, and there's also a small number of Class 484s on the Isle of Wight as well. Their largest depots include the one here at Wimbledon, as well as Bournemouth and Salisbury, but they also have facilities at Clapham, Farnham, Feltham, Fratton and Southampton. And that train that I fondly remember from the 1980s, the Class 455, is now being retired after being in service for 42 years. And the new Aterio trains are here, all expertly looked after at Wimbledon Traincare Centre by its staff.
So Wimbledon Depot is one of our largest depots on the network. It is home of the Aterio fleet. We also have a couple of our legacy fleets which are still maintained here, the Class 455s and the 458s. So we carry out all types of maintenance and cleaning activity and preparation, and we have a team of shift workers who work sort of 24/7 throughout the week.
So first up, I pop into the production office. This is where the admin team plans the schedule of what trains need to come into the depot for their maintenance exam and when. When a train comes in, they look at seats, the doors, the braking, the lighting and anything else that a driver may have flagged as needing attention with that unit. The term plan the operation of the depot, moving the trains around and reforming them based on their mileage.
Yeah, so during the daytime we have maintenance allocation of trains, so they tend to come on and have their maintenance and they'll be moved around the depot throughout the day. During the daytime we also have trains that come out of service from the AM peak and will sit here until the PM peak and go back out again. But at night time, that's when the depot comes alive and we have all of our arrivals come on at night time.
Now at Wimbledon Traincare Centre, they have something which I'm most interested in seeing, and that's the wheel lathe. A wheel lathe is a machine that keeps train wheels in perfect shape. As wheels run over rails over time, they develop flats and uneven wear, which can cause noise, vibration and extra strain on the train. So the wheel lathe cuts a thin layer of metal from each wheel to restore the correct profile, which lets the train run smoothly and safely without removing the wheels from the bogey.
So this is where all of our lathe maintenance goes on. So this is where we turn all wheels. So we turn 455s, 458s, 158s, 159s and 701s. So all of that happens over here. So this is our lathe building. So this is where our lathe operator stands. This is their control panel. So this will be where all the program profiles are. This is your access hatch. This gives them visibility of the wheel that's being turned. They've also got their chainmail gloves. They've got their claw that scrapes away this swarf. So this is where the action and the magic happens through this glass. So the cutting tools rise. So the bogey is clamped down. The cutting tools rise up, and with all the pre-programmed settings that are on here, gets cutting.
Kai, I'm looking at a sheet on the wall. Reasons for wheel turning. Yeah. Cracks, wheel flat, cavities. Cavities make you think of a dentist.
So a hole started to develop and expand, and it's like a cavity in your tooth.
It is like a cavity in your tooth. The hole is developed in the wheel, and you have to
turn it out.
So it's like a trained dentist.
You can call it that. Yeah, you
could you?
That.
Is that ridiculous? Okay.
No.
Should we not call it that? All right. No, otherwise, everyone will call the lathe machine the wheel dentist from now on.
Yeah. So that track slides out, as you can see there, that thin piece of track, which then allows for the wheels to sit on the roller, spin, and that's where the turning action happens.
And there's a small loco here too, to bring the trains into the lathe.
So they pull the trains in and out of the lathe. Because this road is not electrified, that's how they do it. So train will stop at the stop board, and then depending upon what bogey they need to bring inside, they then drag along out the door and position the bogey in the correct place for turning.
Next, I catch up with Steve in the heavy maintenance department. They do any major work and overhauls on trains that come in. And the first thing he talks about is the lifting crane.
Right, yes, remote control crane. and like these are what we call the dogs, and it goes up and we go down the side of the train, and you've got lifting points where, like on this one, it's the lifting points here. For this one, you've got to take the steps off because it goes right under there, and then you have one person one side and me on this side, and one person operating it. On the 455s, you've got a bulb in the cab, and it's a line light, and if that goes out, it means the slipper's not touching the conductor rail. So that's why they have to adjust it every exam to make sure it's a perfect level, so they don't lose any power.
Steve, I've noticed there's a pit. I can't resist walking under a train.
Yeah.
So we put our bump caps on.
Yeah, we got.
Are we going to go? We're going to go under.
Of course we can.
I love going under a train.
Well, if you're a short person, you're all right. But being that we're taller, you've got to crouch down like this. Okay. Right, this is the old coupler. It's electrical coupler. On the 455, it hasn't really got. It's like a more air system. See, we change anything what needs changing. They'll ask us to do, and we'll come and do it. Me and Kevin, my work colleague. If I'm on a 455. And you hear noise, you think, oh, that's quite loud. And especially if I'm travelling on the train, I've got my wife with me, and I go, cool, that's loud. I might even phone them up and get the coach number and report it to the depot. Because that's what people do. Like, they'll travel the train and they go, I've heard some noise, and it gets reported back to the depot, and then it be brought in and checked over. Right. Yeah, I would say these are quite nice. It's got like big, wide, nice profile. Like, if you can see the pads look quite good.
Where's the pads?
The pads are over there. So, and then you got like the guard here. That's if anything falls on the track. That hopefully pushes out the way before it gets under the train.
Steve's worked here for 30 years and knows that he's maintained every 455 in the fleet.
Are you going to miss the 455?
Yeah, I am. It's going to be quite sad because obviously when I came here, it had like the network rail colours, and I've seen all the changes on them. So yeah, it's going to be quite a sad day when they're all gone.
And then I catch up with Steve's colleague Kevin, who talks me through the brilliantly named Bogey drop.
Okay, this is the Bogey drop, yeah? What actually happens, this is, because we've got a 458 on the Bogey drop at the moment, all we've done is remove the wheel set. Like this table here, this table, from the crack in the rails there, to the crack in the rails up the other end, this table here will traverse down, across, and then back up again onto there. If you have a look on the main rail track there, there's a gap at the moment. Okay, so this will move over and up. The reason it's called a Bogey drop is that you can dismantle a bogey from the main rail track and bring the whole bogey over here, go down, across and back up again, and then you can work on the bogey.
This sounds quite brilliant and I want to see it, but it's not the fastest machine in the world. However, with a little bit of video magic, some speeded up sequence and some nice piano music, we can have this.
That's it.
Basically, the 455 was my childhood train.
Yeah.
The whole reason I've done this, got myself an invite to Wimbledon so I can sort of say goodbye to the 455s.
Yeah.
And you're sad to see them go too.
I'm sad to see him go. Like, you see him on Instagram, like where they've been scrapped, they're laying on their side and all that. You take into consideration, like, since I've worked here, every 455 I've worked on, and to see them slowly going, it is sad. You know what I mean? Like, they were a proper workhorse.
Nice to know I'm not the only one that's going to miss the old 455 trains. And walking around, it's a true nostalgia fest because quite a few of them are parked up all over the place.
Just having a little 455 moment. 5734. I wonder how many times I've been on this unit. So this is going by end of the year. This is the last. This won't be a site that happens anymore. They're going.
They're being withdrawn from the timetable at the end of the year.
They're being withdrawn from the timetable at the end of the year. Farewell 455s. Great trains. Great trains.
Carry on walking, and yep, there's one of the new Aterio 701s, and carry on walking again, and I find a little secret passage that I didn't know about.
It's exciting. I never realised this. there's like a western end and an eastern end of the depot, and there's a little tunnel. There's like a little foot tunnel that goes under the road. I never realised this. The amount of times I've maybe been on the bus or driven across this road, and you can walk under it.
This takes you through to the part of the depot known as the top yard, which is where train presentation is based.
At night time, it's transformed. It's really busy. We have over 60 arrivals onto the depot at night, and some of those trains will be maintained. Some of them will be cleaned, and then they're all stabled up and put to bed for the night, ready for tomorrow morning service.
Are you taller than me?
I am taller than you.
Not many people are taller than me.
I'm taller than you, 6'3".
Well done. You've made taller than me. We're in the train presentation shed.
That's where we are, yeah.
Trains are cleaned, trains are what? External, internal?
You name it. Internal, external, we do graffiti cleaning here on 6 and 7 top yard. Everything happens up here. Friday nights, Saturday nights, that's where you see that a lot. So our cleaning team will do a walk through this unit. They'll work out what's going on unless a guard has reported it or a driver's reported it in service, and they will attend that mess and they'll clean it up, and you'll never know anything happened there. They're sort of like the unheard teams, that you don't really see them, but that's what a passenger sees. You know, the first thing a passenger sees is how clean the train is. So their job is very, very important.
What I'm thinking is that this carriage shed, it must be quite a few years old. I'm going to try and research and find out just how long this carriage shed has been there. You can tell from just like the rivets in the metalwork there, compressor, and the roof. I think this is quite an old building. This has been here. This has been here quite some time. Again, I'm just being nostalgic for 455 units. Love them.
And outside the train presentation shed, you get a really good view of the overpass that's here. Heading north out of Wimbledon, the slow lines heading up into Waterloo cross over the tracks to the right here, something that I must have done hundreds of times, and it's great to see it this close up from ground level. I also ask about South Western Railway's diesel units.
Well, the 158s and 159s all come here for wheel reprofiling on the wheel lathe, so they're all done here. We do occasionally send one or two to Northam Depot, usually during leaf fall if the Wimbledon Depot lathe is really busy. But aside from that, all of the day-to-day maintenance is done at Salisbury Depot, and the heavy overhaul work is done at Bournemouth Depot.
And then onto something else that I've whizzed past and seen many times, but never got this close to. It's the staff halt here at Wimbledon.
Intriguingly, behind me is what I think is South Western Railway's least used platform halt on their whole network, because here there's a staff halt. It's right by the up main on the side of the depot, and I believe there are still some scheduled services which can pick up or drop off staff here as required. Fortunately, we can't walk out to it, but maybe I'll get a shot from the bridge up there. But it's right there, and I've always wanted to come and see it up close, which I now have. That's it. I came just for that. That's the only reason I came. I came to see the halt.
My tour's coming to an end, but I think what I'm enjoying the most is the sense of camaraderie amongst the staff, and that people love working here.
Yeah, there is a good spirit amongst the staff. We don't have an on-site canteen as such that people bring their own food, but yeah, they've got a staff mess room and facilities and things like that. But they're a really good team. Obviously, we've got the maintenance team, and we've got the train presentation teams, and then we have various support teams here as well from our engineering team, and we've also got performance colleagues, and also there's a driver depot here at Wimbledon as well.
And the 455s really are going, Geoff. They really are, but not before they've had a send-off.
There's a farewell tour on the 21st of December. So that'll be a really good opportunity to celebrate their time on the network. And obviously, as Aterio are now coming in, we can bid them a fond farewell.
So the train that I fondly remember from the 1980s, the Class 455, is on its way out, and the new Aterio Class 701s are very much here. And they'll be expertly looked after and maintained at Wimbledon Traincare Centre by its staff. And it's been fantastic to see it up close and take a look around behind the scenes here at Wimbledon.
So thank you to South Western Railway for letting me round inside and having a look round. Thanks to everyone involved and that I spoke to, showed me around today. That was excellent. More links in the description down below if you want to click on various things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.